дамы и господа, вот он, Хосе Larduet!
So here comes Jose Larduet. This is our top of the bill, and it's a really enticing heavyweight matchup, this. Jose Larduet with an absolute ton of elite international amateur experience for Cuba. He was a world youth champion all the way back in 2008, a senior bronze medalist the year after, an Olympian in 2012 where he reached the quarterfinals, a Pan American Games gold medalist in 2017. By that point he was up at super heavyweight. He boxed a lot in WSB, turned pro in Germany back in 2019, and he's had 17 fights, but just not an awful lot has happened for him. He's had a no contest to add to those 15 wins and 1 defeat. He needs this, he needs a big win.
Приветствуйте его соперник из Москвы, Россия, Murad Khalidov!
Murad Khalidov is one of these fighters who is rapidly, if he wasn't already, becoming a kind of cult hero. He's somebody who just seems to have been bred for fighting, a bare knuckle background. He's now 11 fights and 11 wins in the pros, and his last fight was a tremendous win in a back and forth barnstormer against Sergey Kuzmin. He won that in the 7th round by stoppage in St. Petersburg last October. Neither of these two is planning for a distance fight here. I think it's fair to say there's been some entertaining words between them during the course of the week. Khalidov making a bit of fun of Larduet's weight, but people have been doing that for a long time. He's one of these people, Larduet, who, yes, he could be in better condition, but the man knows how to fight. He is fit to fight.
Итак, дамы и господа, это главное событие вечера. 10 раундов за титул чемпиона Европы по версии IBA. Прошу приветствуйте в ринге промоутер турнира Ал Сиеста. Бой санкционирован Международной ассоциацией бокса. Супервайзер IBA Максим Чертыковцев, Молдова. Рефери в ринге из России Сергей Литунов. Итак, дамы и господа, нас ожидает яркое зрелище. И если вы готовы, то мы готовы! Для обоих участников боя звучат национальные гимны их стран. И первым звучит государственный гимн Республики Куба. Дамы и господа, звучит государственный гимн Российской Федерации. Итак, дамы и господа, представляю соперников и первым боксера в черном углу. Ему 35 лет, рост 194 сантиметра, официальный вес 129,7 килограмма. Он участник Олимпийских игр в Лондоне, бронзовый призер чемпионата мира среди любителей, победитель чемпионата Панамерики, чемпион игр Центральной Америки, среди профессионалов бывший чемпион по версии WBC International Silver, чемпион Латинской Америки, WBC Latino в тяжелом весе, боксер, который провел 16 боев, одержал 15 побед при всего одном поражении, 13 ярких побед нокаутом. Дамы и господа, представляющий Республику Куба, representando a Santiago de Cuba, José Larduet. Его сопернику напротив, в золотом углу, 37 лет. Рост 188 сантиметров, официальный вес 111,4 килограмма. Он получил широкую известность как устрашающий кулачный боец, а его профессиональный рекорд безупречен. 11 боев, 11 побед, 6 из них нокаутом. Дамы и господа, из Москвы, Россия, по прозвищу чемпион Murad Khalidov! И рефери боя Сергей Летунов с предматчевым инструктажем.
So these two called to the center.
Gentlemen, follow the rules, соблюдайте правила, protect yourself all the time. Все время защищайте себя. Touch gloves. Good luck.
An 18-kilo difference between them. That translates to almost exactly 4 stone. 3 stone, I beg your pardon. And you look at the shape that Larduet is in, and it's pretty good. I've seen him a lot more fleshy than this. So there goes the opening bell. They're scheduled for 10, and it's Khalidov in the white, Larduet in the black. Good use of the left hand early on here from Khalidov. And he will look to get into range and then just rip with those hooks. Nice left hand to the body there. And he hits hard with pretty much everything he throws. As I said, this pro career for Larduet, it's been an interesting one. 15 wins, 1 defeat, 1 no contest. He hasn't really boxed anyone. He won the WBC International Silver back in 2022. The defeat came in late 2024 by split decision against a 9-1 fighter. It quite simply wasn't supposed to happen. And he hasn't really at any point got that wind in his sails that he's needed. And allied to that, the scene in Germany is a lot more dormant now than it's been for quite a long time. Just getting his feet slightly closer there, Larduet, and looking to try and work to the body. Left hand there from Khalidov. I think just made more of a glancing blow. He's letting go with some real intent in this opening round here, Khalidov. He sits down on that right hand. He's put quite a lot into this first 3 minutes, I would say, the Russian. Larduet yet to really get going. And Khalidov has been the busier of the two in this first round, and that's probably going to be enough to take that opener for him. Larduet, though, just landing a couple towards the very end there.
Секунданты за ринг. Seconds out. Второй раунд.
So into the second, Khalidov again there, just rattling those punches off to the body. Larduet trying to repay him in kind, and Larduet just looking to go with him more in this second round. Lands a right hand up to the head there, the big Cuban, and this just starting to catch fire. Nice uppercut on the inside there from Larduet as well, who's just setting his feet now and looking to let his hands go. See if he can make a dent here in Khalidov. Interesting start to the round from the Cuban. Khalidov with a left hand. These two just standing in front of each other and just bashing each other at the moment. So in southpaw here, Khalidov looks for that uppercut. Lead right uppercut was a good shot. Right hand counter comes in there from Larduet. And there's some heavy artillery being thrown here. Lovely uppercut there from Khalidov. Dressed it up nicely, a little tippy tap, and then crunched it through. Larduet looking to try and get the right hand away again. Just eats up another right as he comes forward. And this is already turning into a terrific fight midway through round two, and this has been a grueling, torrid round already, this second. Referee just warning Larduet about a low blow there. He's given Khalidov some time, although he's not going to take it. And this is exactly the kind of fight that we were hoping for, that we expected. Looking for the short overhand right there. Larduet didn't quite manage to land it. These two just tangling as we head into the final minute of the round. Going southpaw again here. Khalidov was out of the southpaw stance and he landed that right uppercut. Larduet goes underneath with a heavy right to the body. Big heavy right hand there, half blocked by the glove of Khalidov, but Larduet, when he puts out 130 kilos behind his shots, well, you know about it. Good left hand there from Khalidov. Really strong, crunching southpaw left. Closing stages of round two, and that was a torrid round, a hard round for the pair of them. They just stood in front of each other and let their hands go, which is what we thought we would get from the pair of them, and it didn't take them long to get down to business. Big shots landing from the pair of them, mostly headshots. There's that uppercut. That was a really well delivered punch. That straight left hand, I think Khalidov had the better of it, but I think that's going to have taken a chunk off both of them.
Секундаты за ринг.
Left hand into the body there from Larduet to kick the round off, and as soon as the referee just gave the instruction to box, as soon as the bell went, they just looked to launch left hands into each other. Just short with the uppercut there, Larduet. Before that, Khalidov had landed his own. Right hand there from Larduet, but Khalidov took it well. Trying to get off with that cuffing right hand there, the Cuban, but it's the Russian who's been the busier of the two so far. He's been the more accurate of the two as well. Good right hand there from Khalidov. And is Larduet hoping that he can just keep walking his man down, take what he's given, and really bring his extra size to bear in the second half of the fight, or as we go down the stretch here, that he will get to Khalidov. But he needs to get close enough to him to wrap him up, to lean on him, to sap him, to do all those kinds of things. And at the minute, Khalidov is doing a good job of just maintaining that gap between them and catching him as he comes forward. Into the final minutes of round 3. Larduet just looking to try and target the body there. Good left hand there from Larduet. Just held his feet slightly, Khalidov, after he'd thrown his own left. Good uppercut there from Khalidov. Really dug his toes in on that one, but Larduet took it well. And just getting that right hand off a little bit now. Larduet throws it from quite low. And again there, it doesn't have to land absolutely clean. It has an impact. Right hand there from Khalidov gets through, but Larduet just rumbling forward towards the end of the round here. Could this be a little bit of a shift in momentum maybe? But Khalidov gets on that front foot to finish the round off, but just towards the end there, Larduet maybe just beginning to get through slightly. And when you get that full momentum, when you're a man that size, punching him off is going to be a difficult thing to do. I've got Khalidov in a lead here through 3 rounds, but he's going to have to keep working ferociously hard because Larduet is making him work hard here. Probably 3 rounds up, I would say, here, Murad Khalidov.
Секунданты за ринг. 4-й раунд.
Left hand into the body there from Khalidov to kick things off in round 4 of the schedule for 10, and again there. And Larduet just telling the referee to tell Khalidov to keep his punches up. I don't think there was anything wrong with the 2 left hands that he landed, but he was taking his eye off the ball a little bit there, Larduet. It's never a good sign. Left hand there from Khalidov again. And I think he just senses that maybe Larduet's getting slightly despondent, things aren't going his way. It's always a good sign for a fighter when their opponent complains to the referee. There's that left to the body again there from Khalidov. Good jab, just snakes through the guard. Larduet just steps in, looks for that right uppercut. Khalidov though with a right uppercut back, and Larduet has got to do a bit more here, I think. Left hand there landed from the Cuban, but it was off the back of a combination from the Russian, and he is the one who is having the say in these arguments at the minute. He's having the final word. He's coming out on the winning side of it. Larduet cannot box a kind of fight where he's just expecting that Khalidov will slow down. He's bringing some pressure, but he's going to need to bring a bit more. That was low, the right hand there. You could see the belt line ripple. And where that belt line is, the top of the belt is just sitting below the belly button, which is where it should be. So anything below the top of the belt there, that's a foul, and the referee will call it. And again, he just sets his feet and lets that right hand go there, Khalidov. Good left hand there from Larduet, just knocked Khalidov off balance as he came in. But again, this is another round that the Russian has dominated here. The schedule for 10, so Larduet has got plenty of time here, but the longer the fight goes on like this, the more he's going to be searching for that stoppage and need that stoppage, and he's rocked back onto his heels there again. And trudges back to his corner.
Дамы и господа, приветствуйте в нашем зале чемпион мира среди профессионалов, генеральный секретарь Федерации бокса России Александр Беспутин.
So into the fifth, and this has gone well so far for Murad Khalidov. He's been good and busy, he's been good and accurate. When he's been hit with by Larduet, he's been able to take. And I just wonder if the Cuban is becoming a little bit demoralised. He needs some success here. He needs somebody to give him some encouragement, because not much has happened so far to light that flame in him. There's always a possibility, of course, in the heavyweight division, that you land something big and either you win the fight, you turn it around in an instant, or it just lifts you. It lets you know that you can hurt your opponent and gets you right back in the fight, and he needs that, Larduet. He needs that. He needs a really good round here. Again, good use of that right hand. Down to the body and then just whips it straight up the middle. Lands the uppercut. You see the head just rock back there of Larduet. Turns southpaw there briefly. Khalidov, that's worked for him, that switching of stance so far tonight. He looks a very well drilled fighter. Compact. Doesn't really waste too much energy. Everything's thrown from within the framework of his own body. And he punches hard. I said earlier on, everything he throws is thrown with intent, but there's no great load up or wind up to it. They're quite short shots most of the time. And again, this is another round that he's winning here. Left to the body. A bit of damage, I think, around the right eye there of Larduet as he comes lumbering forward. And just hit on the way in a couple of times with the left hook, and Larduet looks like he could be in a bit of trouble there for a second. He was trying to get his own attack mounted. He walked onto a double left hook, rocked back onto his heels, and he's being found with more regularity here by Khalidov, who's having another good round here. This is probably the best round of the fight so far for him because he's putting a dent in his man now. You can see that. Closing stages of the round, and again it's been a comprehensive round win here for Khalidov, and more than that, I think he's taken a good chunk off Larduet there. And the way this is going, you wonder, can Khalidov get Larduet out of there in the second half of the fight? You'd say the chances are good, because there may come a point where there just isn't enough belief in him, there isn't enough motivation in him, and that there isn't enough coming back, or maybe the corner will make the decision in between rounds at some stage that he's in a position where he really just cannot win. In heavyweight boxing, that isn't something that you like to admit, because one punch can turn it around, but I would say he's 5 rounds down here.
Секундантный за ринг. 6-й раунд.
Box!
But you can see that damage has been done there to Khalidov. Into the 6th, into the second half of the fight, and this second half of the fight has got to be Larduet's if he's going to turn this around. Good left to the body there from the Cuban. But when they tangle in the centre of the ring there, it's Khalidov who ties him up and just walks him back slightly, and with the weight that he's got, with the size of the ears, he's the one who needs to be getting on top of Khalidov, but it's just not happened at any point, not yet anyway. Good combination there again from Khalidov. Good uppercut there from Larduet. Left to the body again there from Khalidov. And there's no real sign here of Khalidov wilting. Good right hand there from Larduet. That got him round the back of the guard. Referee just having a quick word with Larduet about holding and hitting. Again, both just trying to lead off with left uppercuts there, and it was Khalidov who got there first into the final 30 seconds of round 6, and again he's just keeping those hands nice and busy there. Khalidov. Larduet was in a position to try and get off, but he just couldn't do it. A left uppercut again there from Khalidov. Right hand there from Larduet, round the back of the guard again. And if he can land a few more of them, then you just never know, because we saw Khalidov in between rounds and you can see him sucking the air in there as he goes back to the corner. There's an awful lot that can still happen yet, but he's got a healthy lead here, the Russian. But 12 minutes in the heavyweight division is a very, very long time, and that's what we've got remaining. He has to keep believing here, Jose Larduet, that he's going to get something done here, that he's going to get through to Khalidov. And if it starts to happen, he will feel it. He will feel it before we see it. Good left hand there from Larduet. Fighters have this unerring instinct for when their opponents are just beginning to lose a little bit of strength or snap. He's just got to punch more, Larduet, though. It sounds very, very basic, but he has to. He pushed his man off there and then needed to follow it up with a combination, because that's exactly what Khalidov has done. Big right hand over the top there. He just managed to ride it slightly there, Larduet, I think.
Stop! Stop! Box! Break!
Good jabs of body there from Khalidov. Just dipped those knees, dropped his height, and that's good work from him. He's in really good condition. And he knew that he would need to be, because he's in with somebody here who is most likely going to be able to absorb what he's going to land on him and just keep trying to roll forward for the entire 30 minutes. Left hand into the body there from Khalidov. And again, more good work on the inside, and then turns his man on the ropes. Uppercut, the right uppercut there off the back of the left hand, which I think was a bit low. It banged into the hip there of Larduet, but it was on the blind side of the referee. And both of these two have just managed to soak up what the other has had to give them, and that's been some pretty solid, heavy stuff at times. Right from that second round onwards. The first round was pretty lively, but things got more serious in that second, and they've stayed that way since. So another round in the books, and Khalidov is still doing enough, and we're in that territory now where Larduet is going to need a knockout or multiple knockdowns.
Секунданты за ринг. 8-й раунд.
So into the 8th. And again, Khalidov just lets those hands go, turns around that front foot. And what he's done well is he's kept Larduet turning as much as he's needed to. You would never accuse Khalidov of getting up on his toes, but he plants those feet, he throws those shots like that big booming uppercut there that snapped the head back. But then he will just move just enough, he'll step off. Make sure he doesn't stay in exactly the same place for too long. And again, there's that uppercut, good combination. The right hand just clatters into the underside of the chin of Larduet there, and you see the head just jerk up. And it's a real soul destroyer, that punch, fighters always tell you. Getting hit with an uppercut, because by definition you just don't see it. The angle it comes from, you can't see it. And again there, Khalidov, what he doesn't want to do, as I described in the previous fight, is get greedy here. What he's doing is working 100%. He doesn't need to be any more expansive than this, because he's got it in the tank here to do this for another 7 minutes and 15 seconds. And that will see him win the fight and win it on the cards by a wide margin. The only way this can go wrong for him now is if he walks onto one. Bit of blood coming from the corner of the right eye there of Larduet. We saw that in the clinch just a few moments ago. It looks like it's running relatively clear of the eye, so I don't think it's going to be any kind of a problem. Southpaw right at the end of the round just lands that sneaky jab before the bell goes, and there sounds the bell at the end of the 8th round. The schedule for 10, remember, and it's been a very entertaining watch right from the start. It's been a brutal kind of fight, but a lot of technique, a lot of ability shared by these two as well, and that uppercut has worked so well for Khalidov. Larduet just lands one there, but he's taken everything that the Cuban has landed. Neither one of these two has looked like they're going to come apart at any point. There was a moment earlier in the fight where he landed a combination, Khalidov, and Larduet was rocked back, and just for a few seconds there it looked like he was fairly open, and one more really solid punch could have done some serious damage. But other than that, they soaked it up, and there has been some heavy artillery launched and landed. So 6 minutes to go here. It's been a good card tonight, an entertaining card, and this main event has delivered in the way that we thought it would. Larduet has just hung in there. He's just sticking to the task, still believing that he can land something and turn this around, because he hasn't had too much encouragement, and of the two, he's the one who's been landed on most.
Box.
That's a good example of the combination, and then he just steps off to the side, Khalidov. Right hand there from Larduet down the middle just caused Khalidov to give a bit of ground. And he must know that he's a mile ahead on the cards here, because I can't see a round that Larduet has won. I think he's won every round here, Murad Khalidov. It's been competitive, absolutely. But of those individual 3-minute battles, and that's how the judges view it, individual 3-minute fights, I think he's won every single one. And just taking the opportunity there to go for a little bit of a walk, and this is sensible. He doesn't need a grandstand finish here. Good left hand again there from Khalidov. And I did wonder earlier in the fight if Larduet might start to feel sorry for himself. He's never really done it, which is commendable, because he's had, I wouldn't say he's had no success. He has had success at times, but not enough to really make him believe, I think, that this was going to turn, that he was going to be able to get back into this. There was no real light that appeared at the end of the tunnel. He's just been thinking in terms of that one big shot, I think, for a while now. That's not really what he's about. He's more of a volume puncher, but just hoping, I think, that a combination would get through, that he would hurt Khalidov, or that Khalidov would just hit the wall, because it happens, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen to the Russian. It really doesn't. 1 round to go here on IBA.PRO 14. And they'll be telling Khalidov just 3 more minutes. 3 more minutes and we're there.
Секунданты за ринг. Дамы и господа, финальный 10-й раунд.
So a touch of gloves and away they go again, and this has been a very, very enjoyable fight to watch. In terms of the scores, if it stays the way that it has been, it's going to be one-sided. It's going to be wide to Khalidov. But Larduet has put plenty into this. Left hand again there from Khalidov. He's been excellent tonight. As I said, well organised, compact. He has given very little away. And pressure-wise, conditioning-wise, he is on you right from the start. He doesn't give you a moment's peace. Defensively, he's pretty sound. Left hand into the body there from Khalidov. And the sheer resilience and temperament is where it needs to be, because this has been a hard fight, make no mistake about that. Good combination again there, and just took a little step back after it. He's just got to swing for the fences now, Jose Larduet. That's all he can do here. And the switching between stances has worked for him too. He's been effective out of both. And the finishing tape is well and truly in sight now. And just tying Larduet up, just walking him back to the ropes. Larduet doesn't have too much left himself here, to be honest. Right hand on the inside there from Khalidov into the final minute. Solid looking left hand landed there from Larduet, and he pursues it, gets through with a right and then another left, and just a glimmer there maybe for him. There goes the clap. Final few seconds. Larduet just trying to see if he can land that big bomb to turn this around in the most dramatic fashion, but he can't. But there goes the bell, and that is a very hard-earned win for Murad Khalidov. And they're congratulating Larduet in the Cuban corner there. But what I saw throughout the course of that fight was Khalidov just comprehensively outlanding his man all the way through. It's a brutal business, the heavyweights, it really, really is, and that was a good demonstration of exactly that. And a good main event to end an entertaining evening. And that's what's on offer, that European IBA.PRO belt. The two fighters just getting those gloves cut off before they're called to the centre, and our MC Alex Sorokov gives us the final decision from our three scoring judges at ringside. As we just quickly have a look at some highlights, and that right hand just ricocheting off the head there of Jose Larduet, and that right hand on the inside. They tell the story really. He was so accurate, so effective, and Larduet just pursuing him right towards the very end there. But it was just too little, too late. And the Cuban got through with some good solid shots throughout the course of the 10 rounds, but he was outlanded by a significant margin.
Итак, дамы и господа, прежде чем прозвучит имя победителя, давайте поблагодарим этих невероятных воинов, которые подарили нам потрясающие 10 раундов. Итак, дамы и господа, после 10 раундов бокса большинством судейских голосов победу по очкам одержал и стал чемпионом Европы по версии IBA в тяжелом весе из Москвы, Россия, Мурад Khalidov!
And Khalidov gets a decision. He looks a little bit more nervous standing in the centre there than I thought he might. I think he would have won that one by a wide enough margin. It was a very, very good fight, a competitive fight all the way through. But he was the better man, the more accurate, the better conditioned of the two, I would say. But it was thoroughly enjoyable to watch right from the start, right through to the end.